Guru Chintanam Sarveshika Seva Chanam Kirtanam Vareganakasya Shivasya Kirtanam Yaparayena Kanika Api Samsara Bharite Setu Bandhaya Prenatam Deshikam Tamapasmaye
Bhagavad-Gita
शान्तं हरेकं नाम पूर्वकम् न गुरोररिकं न गुरोररिकं न गुरोररिकं न गुरोररिकं शिवशासनता 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 चिरमेव शिवं चिरमेव शिवं मम शासनतो मम शासनतो मम शासनतो मम शासनता एवं निरं गुरुर्यात्मा ज्ञानमुपाद्यते स्वयं तत्सद्गुरुप्रसादेन मुक्तोऽहमिति भावये गुरुदर्शितमार्गेण मनःशुद्धिकारये अनित्यं कलये सर्वं याति चिन्ता न गोचरम् प्रियं सर्वं च ज्ञानं च मान उच्यते ज्ञानमेव समं कुर्यात् अन्यपन्थद्वितीयकाम् एवं शिव महादेवी गुरुनिन्दं करोति यः सायतेन रवं घोरं रामचन्द्रदिवाकरो यावकल्पं चको देहास्तावदेवा गुरुं स्मरेत् गुरुलोको न कर्तव्यः सचन्दो यदिभाववेत् वक्तव्यं प्राज्ञश्रीशेखतञ्चना गुरुराग्रहेण वक्तव्यम् आसत्यं च कराचना गुरुं त्वं कृत्यमङ्कृत्य गुरुनिर्जित्य भारता अरण्ये निर्दले देशे सा भवेत् ब्रह्मराक्षसा मुनिपिपानगिर्वापि सुरवशापितो यहि कालमृत्युभयद्वापि गुरुरक्षति पार्वती आशकायै सुरभ्यश्च आशकमुनयस्तथा गुरुशापेन ते शीघ्रं जायन्ते न संशयः मन्त्रराजमिदं देवे गुरुरित्याक्षरद्वयं श्रुतिमेवार्थभक्तेन गुरुसाक्षात् परम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिरभिज्ञाय केवलं गुरुसेवकः वेदसन्न्यासिना प्रोक्ता इतरे वेषधारिणः नित्यं ब्रह्म निराकारं घोरये परं सर्वं ब्रह्म निराभासं विपरीतमन्तरं यथा गुरुकृपा प्रसादेन आत्मनं मां निरीक्षयेत् अनेन गुरुमार्गेण आत्मज्ञानं प्रवर्तते ब्रह्मास्तादपर्यन्तम् परमात्मस्वरूपकं स्थावरं जगमं चैव पारमामि जगन्मयम् वन्देऽहं सच्चिदानन्दं निरतीतं सरागुरुं नित्यं पूर्णं निराकारं निर्गुणं सर्वसंस्थितं परतरतरव्येयं नित्यमानन्दकारकं हृदयाकाशमव्यस्तं सदास्वतीकसानिभां प्रतिमारूपं दृश्यते दर्पणे यथा परम् आनन्दं सौम्यथा अमृतमन्त्रपुरुषं ध्यायतश्रीमयं प्रियं तत्र स्फुरति भावो यः निवृत्तं कथयं यः अगोचरं च तागम्यं नामरूपाविवर्जितं निःशब्दं च कृष्णानि स्वभावेन तथा ब्रह्मा च शाश्वतः विदो भूत्वा स्थातव्यं यत्र कुत्रचित् चित्तब्रह्मारवतत्र ज्ञानं भवति तदृशाम् गुरुज्ञानं तथा कृत्वा स्वयं ब्रह्ममयो भवेत् खण्डे काले तथा रूपे मुक्तो नात्र संशयः श्रीपार्वती उवाच किं किन्तु महादेव परं किं सामुदारुताम् उत्पतितं च रूपं किम् एतदप्यायि शङ्करे परमं सामुदारुताम् प्रतिज्ञेयं रूपतितं निरञ्जनम् ते मुक्ता परे मुक्ता रूपे मुक्ता वरानने रूपचिते तु ये मुक्तास् ते मुक्ता नात्र संशयः स्वयं सर्वमयो भूत्वा परं तमं विलोकये परतरं नान्यत् सर्वमेतन्निरालयम् तस्य वालोकनं प्राप्य सर्वसङ्गविवर्जितः एकाकिनीश्वरः शान्तः विशते तत्प्रसादतः लादं वा जनलादं वा सद्भावं चिता निष्कामेनैव भोक्तव्यं सदा सन्तुष्टते च सा सर्वज्ञपरमित्याहुर् कुत्रचित् रक्षिताति सते सोऽपि सदिश पुण्यभाजनः मुक्तस्य लक्षणदेवी तव कथितं मया उपदेशा सता देवी गुरुमार्गेण मुक्तिः गुरुभक्ति सपरिवारं सकलं तव कीर्तितम् भवे कार्यं तव वरमिमहामते लोकोपकारकं देवी लौकिकं तु न भावये लौकिका कर्मणो यान्ति ज्ञानहीनाववर्णवान् ज्ञानी तु भावये सर्वं कर्मनिष्कर्मया कृतम् इदं तु भक्तिभावेन आततेषु निचेयरि लिखित्वा कर्तव्यं तत्सर्वं सफलं भवेत् गुरुकीर्तनकं देवी Swapra Thank you.
Take a moment to bring ourselves into this space, into this room, allowing ourselves, whether we are on the chair, whether we are on the floor, to become seated firmly, establishing ourselves in the present moment, here, now. Becoming conscious, aware of this whole being. Just looking at your entire being from head through the face, neck, shoulders, chest, stomach, thighs, legs, toes, fingers, hands. Is relaxed. Be at ease. Be comfortable with yourself. Feel good inside your own being. Concentrate upon the breath, the inhalation and the exhalation. As you inhale, expand the awareness. As you exhale, let go. As you inhale, expand the awareness. As you exhale, let go. So as you inhale, allow the breath to rise above, to raise your body from the waist up. Allowing the breath to expand from within. And as you let go, just allowing all of the limitations, the smallness that we feel, experience within ourselves to go. So each day as you sit at home for meditation, in your own space, take these first few moments to establish yourself, to become settled in that space. As you go about throughout the day, performing activities of life, remain settled, remain established. Don't allow the wavering. Firmly rooted. The scriptures remind us again and again through all of the various means and methods, Sthiram Sukham Asanam. Become steady, be comfortable with yourself, and this is the asana, the posture, not just in the experience of the world of yoga, but in the world of life. So wherever you go, whatever you do, bring this steadiness, this stillness with you. So becoming established, focusing upon the breath. Just allow yourself to raise both your arms to embrace life, to embrace the world. Allow yourself to be open. As you accept life and embrace, just take a moment to experience gratefulness, gratitude for that which is life. Not just the one individual, but the entire creation, all of cosmos. So as you experience this gratefulness, this gratitude, simply bow your head in front to your own fingers, to your own being, to your own self. Namaste. Salutations to each and every one. If we allow ourselves each day, every day, to begin in this manner, to be established, to be settled, to be still, we can simply imagine how wonderful life would be. All of the chaos, all of the turmoil, all of the turbulence, each one of us creates, would become still. So welcome to Satsang here this Sunday morning. In the United States, it's Halloween. So I'm already in my costume. Been in it for 41 years now. And enjoying every moment, every bit of it. So as most of you know, we were in Virginia this past week, visiting the space of Master Charles that he created. And I was trying to think, the first time we went there, I think it was possibly in the year 1989. He had moved there, I think probably in 86, 85, something like that. And we went over the years, and Devyani was the last visitor in the last couple of years before he left his body, and once I think after he left his body. And it was just amazing to see a person who's focused, who's dedicated, who's committed. He has about 110 acres. I used to think 1,000 acres. So anyway, 10 here and there happens in life. But it's good I confirmed. The person who's running it now since his passing, has taken it upon himself. This must continue. There are 16 buildings with all of the various facilities that have been created. Master Charles says that Baba Muktananda told him, take what I teach to the Western world. So we were together till the spring of 83, April 83, and then he told me, I'm going to go away for a little while. So in this little while, he created this synchronicity, is what he calls it. A type of meditation you do with headphones. And they have machines there now which check your brain. So before you were a meditator, of course a bit too late for some of you, but still, in case you think you're meditating, we'll get to that in a little bit, the machine shows your brain waves and what happens to you over time as you actually meditate, and how the brain waves become balanced, you become balanced. Master Charles specialized in mentoring himself. Once a month, I think he would take one person, I think for an hour in the mornings, and you had to come twice or thrice to the what they call sanctuary, ashram, and have a thorough checkup. It was called a retreat, a week long. And so they would have classes, they would have body work, and they had all of these other people associated. So I thought anyone in the world who's scientific and data-based and wants to actually see, am I progressing or... No. See, I didn't say anything, I was just waiting to see what everybody thought. Technically, we should progress, technically. But whether we do or not is a big question. Yes, I can add. And it's a delicate question because none of us wants to think that I am regressing or not progressing or not getting anywhere. One of the words that came to me over the years, I've talked about life in a hamster, life as a hamster. And so this last couple of weeks, another word came to me, lazy Susan. Niteshwari in the car said, what is a lazy Susan? So, of course, I only learned of it once I came here to the US. For the long time, I always saw it in corner cabinets. We had one in Pine Bush, in the corner cabinet, so you could get around your spices, your sauces, your whatever it was. And eventually in the last few years, I've seen it on dining tables, because the dining tables have gotten big, and so people put it on dining tables. And it's good fun to play, whatever. So anyway, I thought sometimes some people get on this lazy Susan and never get off. I know. And you're imagining, how can one get on a lazy Susan? Well, if you really want, I can point out those who are, but then they will never be my friends again. Because they'll think, how dare you say that to me? So I thought, we have satsang every Sunday. We have satsang every day with Baba Muktananda. We have satsang quite regularly. And as we heard from the Shaivite scholar a couple of weeks ago, we don't want to be sitting around the lake of doubt chattering away. We do not want to be sitting around the lake of doubt chattering away, which is what I feel oftentimes we do in life. All doubters sit around this lazy Susan and just keep passing the doubts around. No, we don't do that. That's what we would want to believe and say. But when we look at a report card of ourselves, was I? How am I? How will I be? We realize that this scholar did not just make it up. So satsang is actually stimulation of the mind. Satsang, the idea is stimulate the mind. So what it does, it says, if you are stimulated by something, it makes you feel full of ideas and enthusiasm. If you are stimulated by something, you are full of ideas, you feel full of ideas and enthusiasm. And so, as we ponder over life, the situation so many of ourselves find ourselves in today, especially in these last 2 years of the so-called pandemic. And what do I do? What will happen to me? And everybody's clear about one thing: I don't want to die. Right? I know. You're not going to say yes or no because you don't want to be the one. But that's been the theme when I meet people privately. I don't want to die. And then I have taken the vaccination. I have not taken the vaccination. I can't decide. I don't know what I should do. I don't know, and all of this lake of doubt. And so here we are in the year 2021. The month of October, on its last day, we only have 2 more months left for 2021. And every single medical person that comes by, when you ask them, so what do you think is the future? And they very conveniently say, the next year will go by. Unless, okay, not the whole year, but maybe. And it's just amazing and interesting to hear, because nobody knows anything. We have just read whatever data is there. We have all come to our conclusions based on who we like, who we don't like. I often see that myself. I give a whole talk, sometimes 45 minutes to an hour, and somebody comes up to me, did you say this? I said, well, I don't remember now. If you say so, then I must have said it. No, because I want to understand what is it that you said. And I look at them and I smile. Because that's my question. I wish I could understand what I have said. Then I wouldn't say it, because I'd realize that there is no point in saying it. I'll put myself out on a limb. Okay? I wondered this often over the years. And then there was nothing in what I read, in what I saw. And then just recently I ran into somewhere, and I have it hidden somewhere because I didn't know if I should or not, because I might get in trouble. So anyway, it's okay. I get myself in trouble all the time. So, but that's my job, is to stimulate is to one video that I saw some years ago is of an Indian captain from the army, Indian Army. And I, every year or two, watch him just to see his enthusiasm and his excitement. And he talks about what we can learn from the streets of India as far as business goes. And I think it's a wonderful thought, a wonderful idea. It's how the United States was when I came here in the early days, what you call mom and pop stores. It's how Mexico is. It's how a lot of the European countries are. It's a lot alike in a lot of places. But things have changed. And we have allowed that to take place, is how I would say it. We cannot say that he or they did it. We have allowed that to take place. And so he argues this fact that young people who are now educated, instead of going and just joining a large corporation and working there, spending their life away, should maybe think of going and working with a small person, somebody with a small shop, and maybe funding them, helping them, offering all of their education to do something. And I'll give you a few examples that I've personally experienced. One, most of you probably don't even know that 100 years ago from Punjab and north of India, agriculturists were brought here to California to work in the fields. And so now, 2, 3, 4 generations later, the children are educated, and the children are running the business, and the parents or grandparents are running the farm. How it's all working out, I don't know, but this is how it is. And then, just recently, about a few months ago, I saw a very nice pink-colored shirt, similar to what I wear. So I said to somebody, that would be nice to get something like this. And then we'll get one, and then we'll get, it's a little bit on the expensive side. A young girl who's a daughter of a tailor, right? Tailor is what you call them? In India, we have lots of these tailor shops where you would go and get your clothes stitched. We have one here in Walden, I see often when we drive by. She got educated in the field of computers, IT. After working somewhere for a couple of years, she thought to herself, I'm putting in so much time. Why not go and upgrade my father? So she left the company in Delhi or wherever she was working, went back to the small town of Dehradun, where she was from, and decided to create this website and upgrade her father's life. And in upgrading her father's life, I believe that she has not only upgraded her father's life, but the people who work with her father, the people who her father sources from, that a big company comes and buys them out and basically kills them. They're sitting at home with a few dollars in their pocket, but there is no life. They have no life. And who is responsible for this? We, the consumer. So those interested, I invite you to look up Captain Raghuraman, The Streets of India, and his talk he's been giving for the last 5 or 6 years. To just ponder over this. What is it that we can do? And somebody from Mexico had this at the bottom, somewhere in the middle, in the comments, that I am from Mexico, and I see the potential we have to bring about change and difference in life, socially, economically, and he said on a humanitarian level. We get lazy. Simply where it begins. We get lazy, and so we just think, why do I want to go to 5 different places? We were talking the other day with Poonam, Devyani had done something like this when she brought the straw bales, the pumpkins, the gourds. She's like, we're going to go to 5 different farm stands because we need to spread the money around. Even though he or she they might have everything, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go to every different. Puna was talking about her mother. They have this called Newark Avenue in Jersey City. So she has 5 stores that she goes into. And an aunt was accompanying, saying, why you want to go to 5? We just buy everything in one. Mrs. Sharma is listening. Kya bol raha hai? Huh? So, for example, you're going to buy, in Indian, what's it called? Lauki, bottle gourd, I think. Some kind of gourd squash. So you know that this person has that good. A different kind of squash, turiya, you know this person. I know my mother used to do the same thing because we used to go meet her in the market. And what we got in exchange was a glass of sugarcane juice. So I take my bicycle, go and meet her, and should give her time. We had to meet her there at that time at that particular bhaiya, it's called in Mumbai a stand. And she'd have all her bags. You put it on your bicycle, you go to the juice guy. Important thing in all of this is the human touch. A child who tells his father, let me teach you online banking. Why do you want to go to the bank? And the father tells him a story. And I think I've shared this story here once before. He said, one day, I didn't go out. So the fruit seller who I would go to every day wondered, why hasn't this particular gentleman shown up? So the fruits I buy, he put it in the bag and he came. When he came, and he wondered why I hadn't come out, I said to him that my wife, your mother, had fallen down. And so he organized whatever it was that needed to be organized to get the mother to the doctor or to the hospital. He said, how would I do this online? He said, and we went to the bank. In the bank, I met 3 people, which you probably didn't even notice, and we said hello to each other in our own way, including the teller. So when all of us are worried here about the pandemic and I don't want to die, we are dying. We're dying in a different way, all around the world. Look at the amount of depression that we hear about in our society today. And we don't know what to do with these people. And it simply comes from the fact they have nothing to do other than play video games. We haven't given them a purpose in life. What to me sadhana does. I was reading Swami Shivananda over the last few days. You read his book, you think, I don't even know if I can begin sadhana, because he says, first learn to sit. If you're not even able to still the external body, what makes you think that you will become still on the inside? And it's a whole big book on meditation. And when I read it, I thought, oh my God, if I even begin, people will think, no way, I am not even meditating, I'm going away. Because he talks about higher obstacles in meditation. Then he talks about mental obstacles in meditation. He talks about physical obstacles in meditation. He talks about preliminary meditation, saguna meditation, nirguna meditation, practice of meditation, kinds of meditation. And people say, you know what, Baba just gave me the touch and I'm meditating. I don't know what to say to you. Because it's actually scary. Scary to even begin to have a conversation with anyone. Seriously. Don't think I'm bluffing. I'm telling you the truth. 41 years later, I still feel scared to have conversations with people because they want to punch me. Not physically. They want to tell me, how can you even think like that? The world is filled with wonderful people, loving people. It's all consciousness. I don't deny this at all. I don't deny this at all. But within that consciousness, what have we, as consciousness, done to this world? We had a young couple yesterday. I sat with them for a few moments, and the wife said, he changed his job and is so much happier. Before that, he was grumpy with me, the children, himself. And now he's better. I forgot to ask how long it's been, because it could have been just a month. Then I said, look, my belief and theory is everyone who comes to this ashram, including those of us who live in this ashram, is may all beings be content. And I'm surprised that offices, companies, factories do not realize that the theme on which they should work from is not where they work from, but from this place. But why is it that this happens? A person says, and this is where I put myself out on the limb, non-stupid people always underestimate the damaging power of stupid individuals. In particular, non-stupid people constantly forget that at all times and places and under any circumstances, to deal or associate with stupid people always turns out to be a costly mistake. How many stupid people does this person think there is? 95%. So how many non-stupid people is left?
5.
And so, Mark Twain said, never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. I know, I am really out there. But I thought if stimulating thinking is necessary, we need to stimulate. And therefore I thought the combination of these two, this, what is this person? He is Carlo Cipolla from Italy, what did I say he was the other day? I forget. He was a economic historian or something like that, right? The fact that it's out there in a book, that it's being discussed, and this is from the 70s, and here we are 50 years later discussing somewhere, someone. That means the possibility of such activity in life exists. Life actually is about change, is about movement. And we get stuck in, we want it to be always as is, and this is how I see it, this is how it is, and but that's not how it is. It's the season of fall. At least we agree upon that here in the United States. And I'm sure everybody has seen what's happening. The leaves are falling. The leaves are changing color, the leaves are falling. And so I go for a walk along our property here, and we have the stream in many different places. And I stop. I actually had a whole bunch of leaves. I took them out. I think I'm bringing all of my books and whatever. I forgot that. I stop at the stream, drink water, which people go, you drink water? I said, yes, it's flowing water, so I'm still alive. Been drinking it since we got here in 1999, so even here, I don't know why we think that the tap water is safer than flowing water. This is the human mentality. I think flowing water is safer because at least the earth, the leaves, the twigs, the stones, the fish, the bugs and everything in it, that's provided that nobody else is putting crap on top, which here we hope on that side nobody's putting, because we have, I think, about 5 lakes above us. And whenever it rains, we have lots of water, and it's so much fun. So I'm a little bit wacko, not Dumbo, a little bit wacko, and I talk to the stream. And I talk to all those things at the stream. So some days ago, I was walking, and I was like, okay, God, Baba, Guru, whatever. And there's a deer looking at me. I met him again yesterday when I turned the corner. He was like, we both stopped for a moment because I think, okay, whatever, he's communicating, I'm communicating. And then the deer, of course, always goes away because it's not sure of the human being. And I talk to myself every time this happens, like, okay, we see pictures of great sages and where the animal is licking his hand, or licking out of his hand. So I think, okay, I'm not there yet. So I went through the woods. A snake walked by, or slithered by. So I'm like, okay, nature is talking to her. So I have to be awake, I have to be aware, I have to be looking. So we have a second dam in the back, which has a big hole, and it's a stone dam, beautiful. And it's wonderful to go down there, lots of water. And I always tell myself I should take swimming shorts or some kind of shorts and go, but I always forget, get busy with, going for a walk is the thing. So, because the water is just so wonderful, so challenging. And when that forceful water is coming through, to sit there is like a natural jacuzzi. And so I was there, and I saw this nice bent leaf and another leaf. And being Indian, I thought of a palanquin, and I thought, okay, there's an unseen deity that I can't see sitting in that. And so it was about 10 feet away, and I'm like, come here. So that's why I told you I'm a little bit wacko. So I told it, come here. So it went round and round. It came about 5 feet. And I said, it's okay. You don't want to come? That's okay. So I just kept walking along the edge of the stream, turned around. And I always like to take a moment to pause, because I always feel something is happening. And because we are so occupied and so busy, got to get to the next thing, to the next, to the next. We want to meditate, but we can't even talk out in nature to all of these things that are talking to us. So the leaf came back. I said, come. And there was a little play, a little game. It came, it went, it came, it went. It came just close enough that I could step down and pick it up. So there were 4 leaves actually. There was the one on the bottom, the one on the top, and 2 on the side. So I picked all 4 of them. I brought them with me. I said, okay, whatever. I met somebody along the way, and then when they came here to Sunday Satsang the next day, they brought me 2 leaves. So they thought, okay, he was carrying some yesterday, so he must like leaves. And mine were yellow, so she gave me red. So yesterday as I walked in the afternoon, we were supposed to have rain, there was a little bit of breeze. It looked cold, so I had a jacket. I met Sita outside. I said, Sita, how is it? She said, just a little breezy, not cold. So I gave her my jacket. I said, can you put this back in? And I just went along. And as I walked along and sat at the stream at different places again, leaves were falling. And as we grow up, we hear couplets, we hear dohas. So this of Kabir's came into mind. Patta toota dal se le gayo pavan udai. अब के बिछड़न कब मिले दूर पड़ेंगे जाए. So, you hear the musician, he sings this couplet. Patta toota dal se le gayo pavan udaye. अब के बिछड़न कब मिले दूर पड़ जाए. The leaf has fallen off the tree, and the wind carries that leaf. The leaf has fallen down from the tree. The wind carries that away. How far will the wind carry it away? And will we, meaning the tree and the leaf, will we ever meet again? So I came back with this couplet in my mind, and then sitting again at the stream at a different spot, and the water flowing fast. And sometimes as I sit there, I try to help, because there's a whole bunch of leaves, twigs, stuff and I think, okay, this water is getting stuck here, stagnant. And I pick the leaves up, I move them along, and I all of a sudden yesterday thought, this is life. Because I often share, life has to be like the flowing river. Life has to be like the flowing river. So in the middle, there's a lot of force, a lot of movement. Along the banks, it slows down. It moves, it will find, what always finds its own way, so it goes through here and it goes out. But then, like I said, a collection of leaves, a collection of twigs, things happen. And so that water wants to get out, but it can't. So yesterday I thought, this is us in life. We somehow are flowing along, everything is going well, and then somehow we end up at the bank. Why? Bank is not in bank, money bank, okay? Bank of the river. And there are obstacles. And if you'll watch, the water goes around quite fast. And you could actually get a what? But what happens, you like that spot now. You like the whirlpool or the jacuzzi, however you want to see it. You'll have to actually go do this if you've never done this to even understand what I'm saying. I'm a wacko. I just want to make it clear in case you're sitting out there thinking, this stupid Swami Nityananda, what is he saying? And we are non-stupid here in the audience. But it was amazing. I found a whole article a person had written just on leaf. And I thought, wow, how wonderful that he's just taken this one couplet of Kabir, Patta Tuta Dal se, and created a whole couplet. A whole 2-page article. He says, first, when you look at it, the leaf has a very complex structure, and which, provides food to the tree. So he said, lesson here is that when we create any social, business, or other structure, any walk of life, it should be well supported, well nourished, and cared for up to its last cell. Otherwise, that structure is not going to last long. So here again, I thought of Raman. Second, this intricate mastery is the tree's own swabhava or nature. It doesn't even think about anything about how Mother Nature works, how the leaf comes about, how the leaf lives on it, how the leaf does what it does, and then the leaf is gone. So he says, here, what is our duty as humans? Just keep doing that which needs to be done, that which keeps it going. This is just from one leaf or a few leaves falling. Third, the leaf has a purpose in its short life. I think comes here in April and here in October. So that's how many? 6 months? 7 months? But yet, it does with no fuss and no losses, because its identity is gone once it leaves the tree. But the leaf does not complain. All of the leaves I picked up did not tell me, why are you picking me up? I belong here in this tree. I fell off this tree. No, they didn't. They just peacefully came along with me. So you see, the big lesson here is for us, live life with full vigor and strength. Give your vital contribution to society. And when time is up, pack up your bag. And it's not about what others can give to us, but what we must do for others. He said, fourth, when I picked up another larger leaf, I saw 3 bugs. And this is creation. Everything is transitory. What is born will die. The important thing is the time spent between the 2 points. How well was it spent? How fruitful was it? And the leaf, the bug. Fifth, he says, the leaf always severs from the branch when it is on its peak, when it's most beautiful, displaying the most colorful, beautiful colors nature has to offer. I know I haven't heard this year or last year because of this whole pandemic. Otherwise, people used to come from all over the world to go to the northeast to see the leaf or leaves. So he says, so the leaf, look at it. And when it's time, it does not even hesitate for a moment. It's the leaf's last dance. And it's on a high. So, the lesson is, there is no glory in hanging around. We should move on when we are on our peak and go. That is my prayer. Hopefully it happens. Think about it. Lastly, all leaves fall in the fall or in autumn. So how do we think about this phenomenon? Did the tree desert them? Or they left it on their own volition? Was it that the utility and the companionship was momentary? Was it a relationship of convenience, familial, or interdependence? Did one use the other? These are just some questions he's throwing out for us to ask ourselves, to think to ourselves. The tree is on a long journey rising up towards the sky, trying to show Mother Nature that I am up to the task assigned to just grow. And even if it has to sacrifice what it creates, the tree is on a mission and continues to grow day after day, month after month, year after year, to fulfill its goal of providing shelter, food, and nourishment to all of creation freely, and ultimately unite with its own creator, consciousness, the Mother Earth, one day. So our scriptures talk about this too. How should I be? Be like the tree. The guy who's going to cut the tree is going to come sit under the tree first because he wants to relax, get his strength because he's walked some ways into the forest. When he gets his strength, the tree has given him a piece of fruit to get his energy, the tree has given him shade, and the tree knows fully well that he's come with an axe, which means he's going to cut me. So he says, live like the tree, work for the welfare of others, even at the cost of self. Let my body fall in the service of others. So the leaf and the tree, their love affair continues. The leaf detaches from the tree, the relationship is broken, the tree is neither happy or oblivious. It just stands there naked, as we see now, in winter, in a harsh winter, alone in the hope that the leaves will come back again and their relationship of interdependence will continue. Let my body fall in the service of others as spectacularly as the fallen leaf of autumn. Patta toota daal se le gayo pavan udaye. Abke bichudan kab mile. What's the last part? So the leaf, watch it now as you drive, as you walk, comes off the tree. The wind carries it. And then we don't know how far away from the tree has the leaf fallen. So, on this Sunday, the 31st of October, the thoughts I want you to just ponder and think about is, what really is it that I want out of Satsang? Many of us have been here plenty of times, been in Pine Bush, been in Livingston, been with Baba Muktananda, and to ask, how have I really changed? We don't need a machine, but if you think you want a machine, please feel free to go to Virginia, look up their website, and get it confirmed. Have I or have I not? And the truth is, to me, I live with myself every single day. So everything here that Swami Shivananda talks about, I think God realization. And he says the only way to really get over fear is go to the cemetery. And it's a tantric sadhana that he advises. And he said, there, in that, over the dead body at midnight, fear assumes various forms, various phobias. Fear of death, fear of disease, scorpion phobia, fear of solitude, fear of company, fear of losing something, fear of public criticism in the form of what will people say of me. And he says here that, we become clear with everything, but then the fear of public criticism remains with us for so long. And he says all of this can only be eradicated by Atma Chintana, by vichara, by contemplation. Because it is only devotion and cultivation of the opposite quality, courage. And courage overcomes fear and timidity. Swamiji himself says, it took me many years to understand thoroughly the secret, subtle working sorts. And all of this, building castles in the air. Even a perfectly healthy man has some imaginary disease. A man may have a little weakness or dosha, fault. When he becomes your enemy, you at once exaggerate and magnify his weakness and dosha. You even superimpose or concoct many more weaknesses and faults. This is due to the power of imagination, and much energy is wasted on account of imaginary fears. It's a wonderful book, and there's so much. And I thought, 2 books if you're on the path of Siddha Yoga: Secret of the Siddhas, Where Are You Going? They're not available officially, but on the web at a good price, sometimes a few dollars, sometimes $100+, they are available. And Where Are You Going is very simple, very straightforward, very clear. Whenever you feel whatever, read it. And it's so, you realize, I know it. Yes, but then my question is, why aren't you living it? I know it, but then why am I not living it? And Baba here in the first part talks about all of the various great beings that he meets in Secret of the Siddhas, and how and what he experiences in their company, and just the bliss and the love. And sometimes, when you read this, you wonder, will I ever get there? Or does it really actually make sense? Does one really, because it talks about in the privacy of my own room, in the ecstasy I experience, I sing Guru Om. I couldn't find that exact quote. I have it somewhere, but I couldn't find it for the last couple of days. Because I thought, how wonderful if you can even get to that place where you are filled with love, filled with joy, filled with, I thought to myself as we drove back from Virginia, okay, this month of November, I'm just going to be loving. And I thought, how do I do that? It's just an imaginary thought, as Swami Shivananda said. On the whole, I think I do pretty good. I have my moments. But then I sit there, I have my pictures of Baba, I have my picture of Bhagwan and Baba, and we visited Sandy's, and I have a huge picture of Tulja Bhavani that she had made big, and she now thinks that she's preparing to exit this world. So as she prepares to exit this world, she said, I don't know what my kids will do with all these things. I said, well, whatever you didn't give to us and whatever you think they don't want, just leave a note to them that whatever you don't want, just send it to Shanti Mandir. They know us and they know Devyani, so they'll send it. She's like, oh, that's a good idea. So I said, so till the last moment, because lots of elderly parents who were devotees of Baba Muktananda, who collected magazines. One lady gave me this much of Baba's hair. She said, because if I don't give it to you, my kids won't know and they'll just throw it away. So she said, I don't know when I will die. She's still alive. She's 90 plus. And she said, here, you keep this. And this is after they have checked us out for a long time. She didn't give it right away. She just gave it maybe 5 years ago. And it will be 40 years that we celebrate the passing of Baba. Like somebody who came the other day said to Divyani, oh, you've done well, ashram has grown. Because they have come only after 35 years since Baba left his body or since he separated from the organization. They probably thought Swami Nityananda is probably just, whiling away his time, which is what many people think, Just because I didn't do satsang last week, some of you might think, what did they do? We did 3 satsangs. We might have missed one. And the Kirtan, and the Yagna, and the Santur concert. And lots of talking in between over cups of tea and cookies. Because for some of them, they were meeting somebody for the first time from the tradition of Muktananda, to which Vivekananda or Master Charles belonged. So they've been with him since the mid-80s. Some of them, yes, we have met, but some of them had come for the first time since his passing. And the beauty of, to me, what I felt was what Master Charles had created in the years that he had lived there. For all of us, and none of it went with him. Let us be clear of that too. Everything that he created, Synchronicity with its 16 buildings and all of the, what's it called? They have all these big names. Enlightening Room. It's anyway. So, but it was just amazing I said to the people, I said, I came when this thing was just a trailer park, which is what he had, because he had no money at the time. And over the years, as he did, here's this wonderful place. And I said to those people, your duty, your job now is to continue this. Make sure this moves forward. Let it not die. Because that is what each and every one of us must always remember in our minds. Just like the leaf has fallen off the tree, yet 2 or 3 bugs can eat off the leaf. Get something from the leaf. In the same way, each and every one of us has a purpose. And what is that purpose? Each one of us must find out. The biggest thing is don't be a pain. That's the first purpose. At least that's what I think is so important. Because if you are a pain anywhere, you are a pain. And then you wonder why nobody wants to be with you. Simple. You are a thorn. A pain is a thorn. No matter which way you turn, the thorn hurts. And sometimes some thorns get stuck. Or you get stuck. And I speak all this from wonderful, personal, direct experience. Not just from a book, not from Google, not from any university, but it's my direct interactions with people. And then people sometimes tell me, you have changed. I'm so happy that I have changed. Welcome, thank you. Somebody told me, smile like me. I said, yes, I will smile like you. Somebody said, be loving and kind like me. So I said, okay, I'll be loving and kind like you. Don't be jealous of my sweet nature. Okay, I won't be jealous of your sweet nature. Whatever, it's okay. That means they see something and I can, and it's wonderful when I travel and somebody says, oh, your energy is better. I go, oh, good, thank God. No, seriously, I think good. Baba's work, which is what I wanted to share, which is what he says here, I didn't quite know which way to go with this, So, because he simply says, it talks about how the Guru has entered you. And this, I think, has to be a direct and personal experience for each one of us. And that until we allow that consciousness, because what is the Guru? The Guru is nothing but consciousness. Until we allow that consciousness to just be alive inside your being. That every cell and pore, people talk about a pregnant child, a lady pregnant with a child and how they are interconnected and how the child and the mother and blah, 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 and the cells and etc., etc. So I think often of this, and I think maybe when the Guru lives inside, and if you just, through your own devotion and worship and love, allow that Shakti to remain just pulsating, and not allow the mind to go to all of these places, and just to remember that Shakti. And as Baba says, how addictive is that experience, how addictive is that feeling. And so when I think of what is it that for each and any one of us, whether we are here in this room or whether we are watching through the YouTube today or tomorrow or in some days, or anyone that we watch. I got a link, and it's a very funny link, and I want to share that. And Swami Dayananda, for those of you who know, from Arshavidya Gurukulam, he taught Vedanta. And as he got older and mature in his years, he probably got a little serious. But this is something from 1976, and he's very, very funny here. He's talking about the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita, Idam Shariram Kauteya Kshetramitti Vidiyate Kshetrajna Kshetrajya Chapimam Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. That know this field. And Swamiji, I don't know how many of you know this song, I am Henry the Eighth, I am. I'd never heard this before, so I had to look it up. So I am Henry the Eighth, I am. Henry the Eighth, I am, I am. And why am I? And he laughs. It's not the Henry VIII as in France. He goes, why am I? Because I got married to the widow next door. I got married. And Swamiji's, he's funny, and you have to look at this video and then only you'll get it. And everyone was a Henry. The 7 before me was a Henry. So Henry the Eighth, I am. Henry the Eighth, I am. She wouldn't have a Willie or a Sam. I am an 8th old man. I am Henry. Henry the 8th, I am. And Swamiji laughs. He says, the Gita is saying, I am the self. I am consciousness. And he's saying, Henry the 8th, I am. And so he says, all of this is due to the ignorance of I am. And so one gets caught in all of this. He says, 3 things one wants in life. I want to live a day more. Nobody wants to die today, like I said. So Swamiji says, everyone wants to live a day more. So he laughs here. He says, in Indian shops, there's a sign. Today, cash. Tomorrow, credit. When you go to a shop in India, because before credit cards, you always have to pay cash. So when he comes tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Today. So the shopkeeper goes, today, cash. So again, Swamiji has a good laugh at this, and he says, everybody says, I will come tomorrow. And tomorrow is today. And he said, we cry, oh, he died. When somebody dies, what do we say? Oh, she died. Somebody says, are you going to live eternally? Think to yourself, ask yourself. And he said, the second thing is, one wants to know everything. One is always busy gathering knowledge, gathering information, gathering data. And the third, I want to be happy. So Swamiji is saying, doing lots, never getting there. Meaning doing lots to be happy, but never arriving at the destination of happy. So now you put all the things I have said together, and we'll chant now. Because otherwise I'll go on. So. Shri Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna Hare Ram Radhe Govinda 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna Hare Ram Radhe Govinda 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna Hare Ram Radhe Govinda Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Govinda. 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 Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Radhe Govinda. 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 Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Radhe Govinda. 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Prabhu Nityananda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Govinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Govinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Govinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Govinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Govinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Ram.
Hare Govinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Govinda.
Radhe.
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Govinda. Hare Krishna, Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Hare Krishna, Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Hare Krishna, Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Govinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Govinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Govinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Govinda. Hare Krishna, Hare धन्य धन्य हो प्रदक्षिणा सद्गुरुरायाची झाली परसुरवर अभिमान उतरायाची धन्य धन्य हो प्रदक्षिणा सद्गुरुरायाची झाली परसुरवर अभिमान उतरायाची
पदोपदी अपार झाल्या पुण्याच्या राशी झाल्या पुण्याच्या धन्य धन्य हो प्रदक्षिणा सद्गुरुरायाची झाली परसुरवर अभिमान उतरायाची धन्य धन्य हो प्रदक्षिणा सद्गुरुरायाची झाली परसुरवर कोटी ब्रह्मा हत्या हरिते करता दंडवत कोटी ब्रह्मा हत्या हरिते करता धन्य धन्य हो प्रदक्षिणा सद्गुरुरायाची झाली परसुरवर धन्य धन्य हो परशुराम।
So this concludes our Sunday morning satsang here at Shanti Mandir Walden. And I think we'll all remember this particular talk. And certainly it'll go in my library as the fall one with the leaves. And may we all continue to remember those analogies and that story. And as we all know, we're under the wish-fulfilling tree here of Baba Muktananda and Gurudev. And so may those leaves of grace and blessings just continue in their abundance to fall over us. We are so, so fortunate. And one thing that I wanted to inform everybody about is that this evening in your inbox, you will be getting Synchronicity Day 1 and Day 2. So they are both of Gurudev's talks that he gave there. They are remarkable. Do not miss either one. And for sure, you definitely want to sit in a setting that is quiet, your puja room, a place where you won't get distracted, and listen to it from beginning to end. And I say that because the nature of the environment there and the building that they use as their meditation hall is quite extraordinary. So for me, in all the years and all the talks that I've heard Gurudev give, this one in particular was something very different. For starters, the first day, the entire talk he gave with his eyes closed, never opened his eyes once. So that right there can give you a sense of the stillness and the quiet that was present in the room. And still, if I think right now, what was the take home from there, and besides everything which was absolutely spectacular, but for sure, the silence. The silence throughout all of the programs was like pin drop silence in every single setting. So that was one. And then the love and the devotion of all of the devotees and all of the people there that had studied under him for so many years. And that feeling was so palpable. And they all, we had everybody go around at one point at the very beginning when Gurudev arrived just to do a meet and greet and introduction to kind of like, you know, an icebreaker, to kind of bring it all together and let that feeling be there between all. And when they all introduced themselves, I mean, 90% of them all said, we've been here at Synchronicity or involved with Master Charles since 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. They were all like a long number of years. So the depth and the way they expressed themselves, it was really, really a memorable visit for sure. Gurudev will be going back in May, so if you want to join us, you're most welcome. But then, so moving on to here, and this, the remaining programs. So we start with the Diwali programs. So that is this upcoming week. So straight away on Tuesday, we have the Dan Trayodashi Puja, which begins at 5:30, and that'll be followed by dinner prasad for everyone. So that's 5:30. And then on November 4th, we have the Diwali Lakshmi Puja, which is also at 5:30, followed by dinner prasad. So everyone, please join us for that. And I do want to say that if you, for some reason, weather permitting or whatever the weather is, and you can't make it here, we will be showing those via live stream, so you can also light the lamps in your homes and feel the presence of Diwali here, right in your very own homes. Then we have November 13th, the evening of November 13th. It's called Raga Revelry, and it's going to be a presentation on North Indian classical music. So that'll be in the evening here on the 13th, which is a Saturday. And then we have our Sunday satsang on Sunday, the 14th. And then right away that following week, November 15th through the 18th, we'll be celebrating and honoring the Sattvic cooking class. So, and we'll do it as we did before, where the mornings are the cooking and the afternoons are the baking. So everybody's invited to join us for that. That's the 15th through the 18th. And then on November 20th, we have Gurudev's last in-person intensive here for all of us on the 20th, starting at 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., balancing traditional and modern values. And then on November 21st, he'll be at Shiv Shakti Peeth in Queens Mamaleshwar Swami Vishveshwarananda Ji Maharaj is coming from India, from Bombay, and so all of the Swamis will be gathering there, as they usually do once a year. So that'll be in the evening on the 21st, and then Gurudev's farewell weekend here is on the 28th. So a lot still there for us all to embrace and to enjoy and to relish and keep depositing into our accounts, our internal accounts, so that we can reflect on all of it once he travels back. So the only other thing that I wanted to mention was that how many people, just from my own knowledge, by raising your hands, how many people are subscribed to Move Forward and the way things are developing? A lot of this is going to be available to you at home, but also here as well. And we really want to make sure that that all of the effort and all of that that's going into it, that everybody gets to enjoy it at home as well. So, but to do that, you must go to the Shanti Mandir YouTube channel. You must subscribe. It's free. It says subscribe, but it's free. So you subscribe, and then make sure that you enable the notifications. Once you enable the notifications, it will come to you on your phones or your computers, whichever devices you've told it to go to, and it will show up there. So every time something is going to be live streamed, you'll get that notice that comes from Dipanchu, and you'll be able to just click on it, and there you are. And then we're all together. So we're really increasing our global presence with everyone. And of course, the feedback that keeps coming back is just, this is fantastic, amazing, keep going, more, not less, less. So as we do that, we just want to make sure everybody is connected in that way. And today, as we all come forward for darshan, let's make sure that we continue to observe our social distancing on the darshan line. And again, thank all of you for your compliance over these, since Gurudev came in August, with the COVID protocols here. We appreciate it, and it's allowing us all to continue to gather again and again and again, indoors, and also share the prasad and the temple. So thank you all, and we'll have darshan now, followed by lunch prasad, and we'll see you next Sunday. Sagurnad Maharaj Ki Jai.
सदाचार की फुलवारी से चुन चुन कर्म की कलियां भावना की झोली में भर कर भर दो मन की गलियां फिर भक्ति की लेकर वीणा बन जाओ एक गीत प्रीतम आप मिलेंगे आकाल की मन मंदिर में ऐसी ज्योत जगा दो चिंतन के संसार से चिंता भय का नाम मिटा दो अब